ticket plan. Mr. President, sometimes it's not the amount of the language. Sometimes it's not the amount of what we say here. But Mr. President, I want to ask, what is the fate of our security summit now? Because the same thing is happening everywhere. The same solutions we are adopting. We cannot have a different result unless we go back to the drawing board and look for different ways. In Plateau State, there's a division, a complete division of Nigerian Armed Forces. When I was governor, it happened like that. Just within 50 yards, several people were killed. Nothing happened. Today, it was during the Lent, I won't say the Lent, on Palm Sunday, where people were killed. But before then, there were viral reports of people saying on so day, there will be killings. And on so day, there were killings. What will the security be doing now when events like this happen? Surprisingly, it has even moved into security. Like he said, in his constituency, soldiers were killed. Captains, lieutenant colonel were all killed, slaughtered.
You have 1 minute remaining because of time.
Yes. I'm only summarizing and agreeing in total with everything said by the Kate plan, but also to say we must hasten this security summit if it will yield any result. Otherwise, the killings will continue.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Senator Palm, you have the floor. Senator Palm.
Distinguished colleagues, I am Senator Kate Plan. I represent Plateau Central. I'm rising on behalf of myself and the senator representing Plateau North to raise a point of order for attacks. Yes, for attacks in Plateau Central and Plateau Northern Senatorial District, and ably supported and co-sponsored by the senator representing Plateau Southern Senatorial District. I am standing on order 41 and 51, sir.
Senator Kate Plan approached me this morning. In fact, he approached us yesterday with the Senate President and also repeated that this morning. In respect of an attack that took place in the Central Zone some few days ago, that he intends to bring that forward to be debated on the floor of the Senate. Is that a view of the Senate that we shall align to bring forward the matter for debate? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. You may proceed. In view of the fact that we have a lot to deal with today, please try to summarize.
Okay.
You don't go the whole hog, in reading your motion. Just summarize so that we can deal with it and move forward.
My dear distinguished colleagues, once more, I am Senator Kate Plan. I represent Plateau Central. I am reading this motion brought particularly by me representing Plateau Central and also my dear colleague in Plateau North that recently were affected and co-supported by our leader, distinguished Senator Lalong from Plateau South. Urgent need to upscale security operations in Kanam and Jos North local government areas of Plateau State. Senate note that Plateau State, known as the home of peace and tourism, gradually lost its once more nature and atmosphere due to incessant crises and attacks by marauding criminals in the last few decades. Though efforts were made by both the federal and state governments in restoring peace, the relative peace being enjoyed has also been recently shattered with the dastardly attack that happened in Kanam local government area in Plateau Central Senatorial District in early March, and the attack in Angwan Rukuba area of Jos North local government area in Plateau North Senatorial District on Sunday, 29th of March 2026, while many were enjoying their Sunday evenings and many others returning from evening services. Scores were killed and many injured. Senate further note that this recent attack appears to be a well-coordinated and well-orchestrated targeting defenseless citizens in a densely populated area bubbling with social, economic, and religious activities on a Sunday evening when citizens are going about their businesses, oblivious of the dangers around them. Further aware that the crisis in Plateau has become very complex because of its economic, ethnic, and religious coloration, with recent attacks having no particular target or reason, but pointing towards an act of terrorism. Further aware that the deadly ambush which occurred in Garga, axis in Kanam, local government area, targeted a joint security patrol team operating under the Wase sector, leading to the death of some of the security personnel, including a captain, while others sustained varying degrees of injuries, leaving many to wonder if the attacks are now on security personnel or defenseless citizens, sending a very worrying signal to know that no one is safe. Worried that the incessant crisis on the plateau is eroding the state and its peaceful citizens, the ambience of peace and harmony that was once the hallmark of the state. Plateau people are peace-loving, accommodating, but the wanton attacks and destruction of lives and properties and the deliberate displacement of citizens from their ancestral lands, leading to high rural migration, thereby distorting agricultural activities, is a direct affront on food security in Nigeria. More worried that these crises have created fear in the hearts of the peace-loving people of Plateau State and a feeling of hopelessness, as a former American President Franklin Roosevelt in his inauguration speech in 1933 pointed out, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Fear is an unjust terror which paralyzes needed efforts to convert retreat into an advance. He told this during a time of great uncertainty, aiming to inspire courage and confidence in the face of adversity. This quote is apt for the present worrisome situation in Plateau State, where citizens are living in perpetual fear and incapacitated to carry out any meaningful economic activity with very daring consequences. Cognizant that the primary responsibility of government is the protection of lives and the properties of its citizens and the provision of an enabling environment for citizens to strive as they go about their lawful businesses. From previous experiences and with the nature of attacks on Plateau State and other parts of Nigeria, despite the presence of security personnel, these crises keep escalating. Hence, the need to deploy a strategy of having permanent security presence and taking the war to criminals by locating and disseminating their hideouts, since they are not spirits. Worthy of note also is the fact that one of the challenges faced by the security agencies is inadequate personnel, as the current data shows a ratio of one policeman to 650 citizens, which is in opposition of the recommended United Nations standard. This is evident in other security agencies, including the Army, although the federal government is taking steps in addressing these gaps. It needs to be escalated as a matter of urgency. Further cognizant that these crises have left many homeless and in their need of essential supplies, especially food, medicine, clothing, and shelters. Most of them have also lost their means of livelihood and living in fear of inescapable penury. Although kudos must be given to the Plateau State Governor for taking swift actions by imposing a 48-hour curfew to douse the tension and personally visited the victims of the attack. These actions have brought down succor to the victims, but more needs to be done. Prayer. Senate accordingly resolved to observe a minute of silence on plenary in honor of the victims of the crisis. 2, direct the Inspector General of Police to commence investigations and bring the culprits to face the full wrath of the law. 3, send a high-power delegation led by the uncommon president of the Senate to the crisis areas to condole with the Plateau people and also the victims. 4, urge the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs to direct its agencies towards the supply of relief materials to affected victims. 5, urge the Chief of Defense Staff and other security chiefs to establish a permanent joint security operational basis in the affected local government areas due to its volatile nature and to keep these criminal elements at bay. 5, urge the Nigerian military to deploy intelligence and aerial surveillance by fishing out the hideouts of these criminal elements and across the country and disseminating them completely. Lastly, the federal government through the Police Service Commission and the Ministry of Defense should expedite action in recruiting more personnel into the Nigerian police and the Nigerian military. So I so submit, and thank you for your audience.
Thank you very much, Senator.
Heavy heart because what happened in Plateau, in Jos in particular, is something that directly affected me. I cannot sleep because of phone calls. These attacks are far too many and have resulted in the tragic loss of numerous lives, displacement of thousands of residents, destruction of property, and severe disruption of economic activities and related business activities in the affected communities. It's unfortunate that we always come here, just like my colleague from Plateau South said, we speak and we talk and there is nothing happening. It is more devastating for somebody to have, or some people would say they would do an attack and they did it, and the annoying part of it, they will come with machines that look like that of the soldiers and they will vanish. You can't see them. They will go somewhere else jubilating that they have done the best, yet no arrest has been made. Sir, my distinguished colleagues, the frequency at which these people arrive is worrisome. And what are we going to do about it? We are admonishing that a sincere and heavy approach to this type of wickedness should.
Thank you. Your time is up. 1 minute. Thank you, Senator Danduze. Give 1 minute contribution, and then we go to the prayers.
Thank you, Mr. President, my respected. On this very unfortunate situation which is happening in Jos and other part of the country. These people that are creating mayhem in this country are callous. They are organized syndicate who came from far away to destabilize this great nation. As lawmakers, we need to do more in terms of making sure that our securities are adequately coordinated in terms of intelligence gathering and in terms of supporting them to use modern equipment to ensure peace and security of this country. It happens recently in my senatorial district. During fasting, carelessly they went in Dandime local government, they killed about 18 people. And most of these people are ISWAP and they are operating in Africa. And these people are trained professionals to kill and maim people throughout Africa. It's not only in Nigeria. So government is doing enough to ensure that peace and security. No government, no responsible government will allow people to be killed. But what is important, Mr. President, my respected colleagues, there is need to have a synergy in all the security agencies we have to avert this very unfortunate situation. And there is need also, anybody that is found, there is no need of wasting time taking him to prison or something. He need to be dealt with accordingly. Because it happens in Borno, we are losing a lot of men and
it should be dealt with according to the law.
So, Mr. President, I suggest that this unfortunate situation need to have a committed punishment that is supposed to be taken to firing squad, because they are not supposed to be allowed
according
to be
to the law.
eating
Thank you
people's
very
food,
much.
Eating taxpayers' money. Mr. President, these people, there is no need for any civil society organization to say that these people will be allowed to be jailed for life. What are you going to jail them for life? They will only train innocent people in the prison so that they will come out and become criminals. So as lawmakers, we have to take a speedy law to ensure that these people are committed to death penalty. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. We go to the prayers. Those in support of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 2. Direct the Inspector General of Police to commence investigations and bring the culprits to face the full wrath of the law. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Send a high-power delegation led by the incumbent president of the Senate to the crisis areas to condole with the Plateau people and the victims. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. All the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs to direct its agencies towards the supply of relief materials identified above. Those in favor of the prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. All the Chief of Defense Staff and other security chiefs to establish a permanent joint security operational base in the affected local government areas due to its volatile nature and to keep the criminal elements at bay. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. All the Nigerian military to deploy intelligence and aerial surveillance by fishing out the hideouts of these criminal elements across the country and decimating them completely. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 7. The federal government, through the Police Service Commission and the Ministry of Defense, to expedite action in recruiting more personnel into the Nigerian Police Force and the Nigerian Army. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Nobody is saying aye, including. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. May we please stand to observe 1 minute silence in accordance with the adopted prayer 1. May the souls of those who lost their lives, the tragic attack that took place in Angwan Rukuba, area of Jos North local government area in Plateau State, in Plateau North Senatorial District on Sunday, 29th day of March 2026, rest in perfect peace.